served. Thank you again. I will be brief. This goes back, way back to another generation. That generation taught us, and it seems like we might be failing future generations. The values that back then don't seem to be applying now, except in certain cases like today. The people do want to give of themselves and do want to apply those values to the public safety and to the public good, so to speak. I remember Uncle Lou as being my assistant chief when I joined the fire department in the late 60s. I can tell you so many stories about Uncle Lou that just funny, inspiring, and what have you stories. He's a well-loved man. Here's JD, who's taking the lead on this. We're going to turn this over to JD in just a minute. Has taken the lead on this and has really done a lot of the work. So I really appreciate what he's done here, assisted by Brian Peck and Mike Shakora, and again, the rest of us will fill in behind them. We, just briefly, Uncle Lou lived up on Rodney Street. That's one of the high parts of our township. And they had a radio, a fire department radio there. And Lou, Cindy, and Joyce, this is before Allegheny County 911, before the 911 system. And we'd call in the middle of the night. There would be no one in our radio room, but we could call base 3. And sometimes we get Joyce, sometimes we get Cindy, sometimes we get Lou. We always had somebody there. Sometimes we get Aunt Flo. Sometimes we always had somebody there. So such is the basis of where we're coming from today. Joyce and Cindy were actually helping us back through the early parts of the COVID virus when we were giving away our fish dinners instead of selling them. We had a lot of people, some of you may have been giving us a hand too, but it was quite a time. And even those of you who weren't here helping us in the station, you made it a community event. When the lines of people coming to get fish, I don't think you were here to get free fish. I think you were here just to support us. And those lines went up McGovern, down McGovern, up Spring Run Road, and down through the tunnel and into the neighborhood down there. So such is our gratitude to you for being there with us. So this device will help us so very much. First I should go back. This is the tough part. We lost Joyce in June. Such a wonderful, wonderful person. It's just a hole in our life that has to be filled in some way. And I think this is going to help too. So again, when we lost those 2 girls in the dam several years ago, I know everyone is sure to remember what a terrible time that was. And we have lost other people in that dam over the years too. The Corps of Engineers tells us that's the largest fixed press dam in the United States. It's also the only low-head dam. I know it's not really considered a low-head dam, but the low-head dam structure of it does not permit people to see as you go over it. You don't know what's there. So we lost over a dozen or more, many more people than a dozen in our own lifetime. So Joyce and Cindy and the family wanted to donate something to the fire department to help us get up in there. There was a device called an Emily, and I really, Jenny and I considered this, it's like a drone, it's like a surfboard on wheels or on jets that would get up in there. But to tell you the truth, and you kind of dismal about it, we can't get there fast enough to save anybody in that dam. It's hard, cold facts. But there are other devices that can help us in our work to save and help people get through the losses on the river. And that's what this will do. Now, one more thing. A lot of fire departments are self-evaluating themselves about duplication of services. We don't need ladder trucks here. We have Ambridge Fire Department. We have Swickley Fire Department. We have Moon Township Fire Department to come down and help us if we need ladder trucks. We don't need trench rescue. We have Beaver County and Baden Fire Department are trench rescue specialists. Past the Moon Township. And it goes on and on and on. But we have always offered the services of river rescue to the public. We are known for that. We've been known for that for over 75 years, before we were born, obviously. So the technology has increased, and so has our mission to increasing that technology and service to our public and to the people who serve us. We reciprocate with a device like this. And with that, I'll pass it over to JD. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. With that, Danny did cover a lot, but this is Danny did cover a lot of it. I'm here to say we are, all of us that you see standing in front of you are like family. We've known each other for a lot of years. The Phillips family is the same way with us. They've known us, they've seen us. Cindy remembers me when I was a little kid, the carnivals and that. But like Danny had said, base 3 was up on top of the hill. Didn't matter what time of night it was, time in the morning, didn't matter what the weather was, they were there. So with that, Uncle Lou and Flo are very good people. They've had Lou, Cindy, and Joyce, who were phenomenal people. Joyce had 2 siblings, Grace and John. Children. Who are their siblings? You guys want to walk over here? These two individuals here are they're just like their mother, their grandparents, their aunts, and their uncle. They got a heart of gold. When Danny and I sat down with Grace and John, we were trying to figure out how we, the fire department, could come up with the difference in the amount of it. So we kind of walked away, Danny and I did. We sat back down with them. Grace looked me in the eyes, and I'm not a person to be speechless for words, if you know me. I usually have a comeback. But Grace looked at me and said, "You guys go ahead and get it. We'll pay for it." I couldn't say nothing. I was speechless. But that's how her mother would have been. She would have been the same way. So what I want to do today is what's standing behind Danny and I. First of all, I'm going to start off with a little plaque that was made up. We had made up. This, what you're going to see here in a few minutes, is going to be called the ROV Phillips. And I have a plaque made up. This little plaque here will be mounted on the machine, and it also, through the county 911 system, will be on our run card, as if another neighboring department calls for it, they're calling for the ROV Phillips. So the Phillips name's still going to be out there in the fire service. It's still going to be out there just as it was years ago. I also have another plaque here in my pocket that I want to present to the family. But this is also going to go on the truck or the cabinet door outside so everybody can see it. And what it says here is, "In love and memory of the Phillips family." So I'd like to present that with you guys. And with that, Danny and I, and John and Grace, you want to step up here? Would you? You guys want to have a few words?
Thank you, everybody, for being here to celebrate this moment. And, we're so happy to be able to give back. I know that our mom was very passionate about that. We're very grateful that there are so many people here to remember her and to dedicate something that will save lives to her family. So we're very grateful. Thank you.
This will help all the divers. Before we unveil this, I'd like to take the time to introduce our firemen, Sergeant, and our police officers. Also, I'd like to recognize Valerie Gatos is sitting here today with us and joining us in this moment. Jerry Keller. Officer Evan. Officer Sauger. Robert Props. Danny Lewis, life member. Jack, life member. We already met these two. Dan Mahler, Chief. Joe Pritchard. Justin Vance. Justin Trenner. Ryan Peck. Chris Lorenz. Mike Shapiro. Tom McGuire. These are the guys. And myself, John Krieger. So at this time, everybody raise your glass. If you guys don't have your glass, go grab your glass.
Jack, I got his glass.
Run, Jack, run. I am running.
I mind you, they haven't seen this yet. A few of our own guys haven't seen this yet. All right, raise your glass. We are now naming this the ROV Phillips.
Here's the joy.
Here's the joy.